Hi, welcome back. I'm Kathy, and if you're new to my channel, I do food and product reviews, and today is my first copycat recipe. I mentioned last month that I was going to start doing these, and today is my first one. Thought I would start with something simple, the Wendy's Frosty. If you are not familiar with the Wendy's Frosty, it's not quite a milkshake and it's not quite soft serve ice cream. So it's kind of its own thing. It's a Frosty. You say a Frosty, most people know what you're talking about. And I'm going to do the original, the chocolate Frosty, not the vanilla. I'm a fan of the chocolate. It's 3 ingredients: chocolate milk, Cool Whip, and sweetened condensed milk. So I looked on Pinterest for these recipes, and there was 2 that kept showing up the most, that people said tasted most like a Wendy's Frosty. I tried the other one. It was also 3 ingredients. It was vanilla ice cream, which was kind of weird to me because it didn't specify what kind of vanilla ice cream, and I think vanilla ice creams can taste different. So it was vanilla ice cream, Nestle Quick, the powder, and milk. So I made that one, and to me it just tasted like a very, very thin milkshake. It didn't really have the texture, it didn't really have the flavor. So I'm gonna stick with this recipe. This one seems to be the closest that I could find. With the chocolate milk, I've tried it with homemade chocolate milk and store-bought. I prefer the store-bought, and I would buy whole milk. But what you want to do, here's a little secret, what you want to do with the milk is put an ice cube tray and freeze it. I know some people don't have ice cube trays anymore, but you can get them at the Dollar Tree. I think you can get them like, 2 for $1 or 3 for $1 or whatever. So that's what you want to start with, freezing the chocolate milk. So this is roughly about 2 cups and a cup of Cool Whip and just a tablespoon of the sweetened condensed milk. The recipe that I found called for the Cool Whip to be frozen. My blender isn't that great, so I'm not going to use this frozen. Not that it freezes, I mean it freezes solid, but it's not, like a piece of ice, but still. And the ice cubes, or the milk cubes I should say, I'm actually going to cut these up a little bit because, like I said, my blender's not that great. But if you have a great blender, if you have one of the Vitamix or whatever they're called, I would just leave them like this. But I've done this a few times and I found it better if I can break these down a little bit, maybe into like 3 pieces. It really helps. Alright, so here's what the ice cubes look like. They had started melting a little bit before I got them out of there. So that's approximately 2 cups of milk and Cool Whip. Cool Whip. 1 cup. It's weird, I like Cool Whip on some things and other things I don't. In here. Like I said, the only reason I'm not using this frozen is because my blender is not that strong. And 1 tablespoon of sweetened condensed milk. Sticky. Let's hope my blender can handle it. Maybe I need to review blenders. Get a better one. Set not very strong. Alright, here we go again. This is probably it's a little thinner than a Frosty. So I'm going to put this in the freezer, then I'm going to go get a real Frosty and compare the 2. Let's see. Maybe not. Alright. Not sure how much this is going to make. Yeah, it looks thinner than a Frosty, but actually I've had some Frosties this thin when the machine wasn't that cold. So that made about 2. All right, I'm gonna put these in the freezer and I'm gonna run to Wendy's and get a real Frosty and then we'll compare the two. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back from Wendy's with my chocolate Frosty and let's compare it to my Copycat. All right. I love Frosty. This one is a little soupy, I guess. Okay, so this one I did have in the freezer, so it looks like it got a little icy again, but the consistency is pretty close. The consistency is pretty close, but there's something in the Frosty. There's just this flavor, and I don't know what it is. This is much better than if you use ice cream. I like using the chocolate milk a lot better. It's close, but if you can go get a real Frosty, I would get a real Frosty over this. I think if I was craving a Frosty, I don't know if this would do. But the true test, the true way to eat a Frosty is with fries, not a spoon. So let's see if it tastes any better with the sweet and salty. Yum. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Plenty of people do this. I didn't just make it up. I think this is missing. It doesn't have a very, it's not a very strong chocolate flavor. Not that the Frosty is either, but there's just something, there's just some flavor in the Frosty. I wish I knew what it was. Don't get me wrong, it's still good. And like I said, I don't know if I had a craving for a Frosty, if this would cure that craving. But if you're somewhere that doesn't have a Wendy's and can't get a Frosty, that might be a good substitute. So for me, I'm a little disappointed. I thought it was gonna taste more like a Frosty. Because of all the different food blogs that I read about this, a lot of people said, oh, it tastes just like Frosty, just like a Frosty. Not really. So for me, even though this was super simple to make, if I want a Frosty, I'm gonna go to Wendy's and get a Frosty. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you've seen a little ruffle on her collar. It spells out mom. I thought that was intentional, but I Googled that and it was not. It just so happened that that's how it worked out, that it spelled mom. So I was a little disappointed. I thought it was something intentional, kind of like a hidden message or something, but not the case, not the case. All right, so first Copycat recipe. A little disappointed, so hopefully the next one will be better. If you have any suggestions for me, please let me know below. I want to stick with restaurants that are kind of in my area so I can go buy them and like compare them. So in my area I have Zaxby's, Sonic, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Salsaritas, Five Guys, Cheddar's, Shalotsky's, which also has a Cinnabon in it, so I was thinking about doing Cinnabon. Let me know what you think. Arby's, I say Taco Bell, Subway, I really don't want to do Subway, Firehouse, Little Caesars. I think I got them all. Think. Alright, so let me know in the comments below if there's something that you want me to try to make. And that brings me to the riddle of the day. Alright, so it comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years. Let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about hitting that red subscribe and the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.